Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is Friday. Wanted to shoot this video to highlight the top 10 list for the week brought to you by CBSI. I'll go over that in just a second. Also wanted to highlight some books I just got in the mail. Tales of the Green Lantern Corps. I can't remember the year. I think these are pretty old. These are like early, I'm going to say early 80s, maybe 83, 84. Yeah, so they're pretty old now. They're over 30 years old. And I found these on eBay for about 20 bucks with shipping, which is a good deal. The significance of this is issue number 2 is the first appearance of Necron, which is sort of a major villain in the Green Lantern storyline. Yeah, I just thought this is an undervalued book. I think this issue alone is probably $15 to $20, or it should be valued around that. And you can pick up 1 through 3 typically for that price. So basically you get issues 1 and 3 for free, but the real gem is number 2. So yeah, I got these in high grade. You know, no major spine ticks or creases or anything like that. I think on number 2 here, there's just a little scuffing on that one edge, which is kind of common. But yeah, these are probably, you know, 8.5s, 9 maybe, I don't know, somewhere in that range. You know, pretty good grade. They present well in a Mylar for sure. Nice colors and everything. So these are worth picking up. I haven't read them yet. Some of these older books from the 80s, they're okay when you read them. Be kind of interesting to see the first iteration of Necron, because if you've read the Blackest Night series, obviously they have Necron looks a little different than he does in these. So yeah, it's kind of a couple cool books. I would recommend getting these if you're into Green Lantern or one of the major villains of Green Lantern. Down the road, I think these books could go up more in value, especially if they ever do anything with the franchise of Green Lantern. These would be good ones to have. So just thought I'd highlight those. Let's jump into the top 10 list here for the week from CBSI. And here we go for the week ending May 3rd. So number 10 on the list is the Adventures of Superman 499. And then this is the DCU variant. So the difference here is, if you look real closely on this corner edge of the right-hand corner of the book, it has the DC logo instead of the barcode, I think it is. So for whatever reason, these are tougher to find. There's a recorded sale here for 800 bucks for a 9.8. This is nothing I would collect. You know, these books, you know, the regular copy is probably in a dollar bin, right? If you go to a comic book shop that has a lot of these books from the 90s, 80s and 90s, it was kind of a widely circulated book. So there's a, you know, pretty big print run of these comic books leading up to and after the death of Superman. Yeah, so nothing I would be interested in getting. I'm not collecting a one-off, you know, just because there's a logo there. I mean, it doesn't get me excited to spend big money for it. I just think that's kind of stupid. Number 9, Giant XMen number 1, definitely a grail. I used to own this book. So one thing about this list is I don't own any of these top 10 books. I used to own this one in a 9.6 with white pages. Yeah, about probably 12, 13 years ago. I bought it for, I think I paid, it was pretty inexpensive for a 9.6. I think I paid, I know it was under $2,000. I'm gonna say 1,800 bucks, $1,500. It wasn't that much. And I sold it and made a little bit of money on it. I had to sell it at the time. I just needed the capital for other things that were going on in my life. And yeah, I always kind of regretted it. I had this one and Hulk 181 in 9.6 white pages condition, which, man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford to buy that book back again. That's the one. These two books definitely are something I regret, but Giant X-Men definitely is a great book. A 9.0's going for $3,600, 9.2 for $4,000. I mean, think about it. I had a 9.6 with white pages. Man. Oh well, makes you kind of sick when you think about it, but that is definitely a great book. It well deserves to be on any list. Number 8, Peter Mayhew's signature items. I guess he just passed away at the ripe old age of 74. Actually, he lived a long time for someone his height. I think he was 7'3" at his height. The height of his height. I think he was 7'3". Probably when he was, beginning to film Star Wars. I think he was in his 40s then, late 30s, early 40s, when he started with Star Wars. He was, he wasn't a young man. But the taller you are, the less your lifespan is. That's just the way it is. So he lived pretty long. 74 is pretty old for somebody that tall. I've worked around a lot of older people over the years, and the older they are, the shorter they are. It's just the way it is. The tall old people don't last too long. They tend to die off pretty young. So he lived a long time, and he had a great career. He was well liked by fans, by the Star Wars cast, and I would say some of his items going up, deservedly so. So that's number 8 on the list. Anything Peter Mayhew sign, signature, series sign is probably going to be moving up here this week. Number 7, all new Captain America #1. This is Rick Remender writer, Stuart Emman is the artist, and this is when I don't think I collected these. This is when the Captain America mantle was taken over by Rhodes, who used to be War Machine, and I collected the series right before this. I didn't buy any of these, so hey, it's moving up. $15, $20 book at the moment. Number 6, A-Force #1, the Adam Hughes 1 in 50 variant. Would imagine this would be a pretty difficult book to find. 9/8s were only around 125 to 150 before Endgame, and now they're in the 275 plus range for those same 9/8s. So there's a collecting base out there that likes Adam Hughes covers, and you've got a higher ratio, so it's a little harder to find this book. Number 5, Submariner #1. This is a classic. I guess this is considered Bronze Age, right? I don't know. I don't remember what the year this came out. I don't know. It might be Silver Age. Classic John Buscema cover, great artwork. 7.0 recently sold for $400. I remember seeing these, like a year ago. You could have picked up a nice grade of this for maybe $250. Raw condition, really decent grade. Obviously, I thought about picking one up because this is a classic cover. I think there's always going to be demand for it. And right now the demand is moving up. So probably speculation that they're going to bring Namor into the Marvel Universe at some point in a movie. There's probably a high likelihood of that. Number 4 on the list, Shadow Man. Number 13. I don't know much about Shadow Man. I've seen the books from Valiant for sale before, but don't know much about it. Here it says that sales of this book from February to late April. There have been 18 sales this week, and the price seems to be around $30. The reason, it's the first appearance of Punk Mambo. I guess there's a new comic book, Punk Mambo. I don't know. I guess that's why on the list. I'm not too familiar with it, but there it is, number 4. Number 3 on the list, I think this was on the list last week. Avengers #12. This is the first time Tony Stark is donning the Infinity Gauntlet. Obviously, there's some kind of link to the movie that I haven't seen yet. I've been very good about avoiding spoilers. So I don't know anything about Avengers Endgame. I'm going to try to see it this weekend if the movie theater isn't too packed. I'm one of these people that's okay with waiting a couple weeks for the hype to die down so that you're not fighting to get a good seat. But yeah, I may try to go see it on Sunday. We'll see. Number 2 on the list, Avengers number 8. Speculation that King will be the villain following Thanos. And this book is moving. A 6.5 sold for $750 and a 5.0 sold for $550. Yeah, it's an early Avengers book. Yeah, it's probably hard to find in good grade. You know, those older books, a white cover, probably a lot of scuffing on it. So yeah, if you can find a nice mid-grade, that'd be a good long-term buy. I would say would be the first appearance of King the Conqueror. Definitely a villain that's going to be in the Marvel universe for a long time. Number 1 on the list, all new Ghost Rider number 1. Disney is making a show with this character, and instantly this $10 book, or less than $10 book, is shot up to $30 plus. This is another book that I think I may have this. I'll have to look. I think I did buy one of these issues of Ghost Rider. I have to look through my collection. I vaguely remember buying maybe the first issue or 2 of this just to try it out. I don't remember being impressed with it. The fact that it was a car instead of a motorcycle. I guess I'm old school. I like the idea of Ghost Rider on a motorcycle and not a car, but yeah, if you got this in your collection, I think I might have. I'll have to go look for it and see if I do, but yeah, out of that list, I think I only have one. One on the list. Maybe the Ghost Rider. I think all the other ones, I'm pretty sure I don't have. So yeah, I'm not too excited about this list this week, since it doesn't do much for my collection. Honorable mentions: Walking Dead 191. I guess a possible major death. Prices are $10 to $15. I stopped collecting Walking Dead probably around 187, 188. I don't know. I have been collecting Walking Dead since issue 80, all the way to 187, and I just lost interest in it. I don't know. I mean, I've been becoming more and more selective on the comic books that I'm picking up on my pull list, and I just made a decision that Walking Dead just wasn't, I just wasn't getting excited about it anymore. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the story was horrible. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just decided that I wanted to stop reading it. So I'm not putting any more capital into picking up Walking Dead anymore. I don't know. Maybe I should have gone to... what I think will happen is there'll be a lot of people that will follow this to issue 200, and then there will probably be a fairly steep drop-off unless Kirkman does something to kind of revive things. The show's ending. Just things are kind of dying. Everything has its day, and I think Walking Dead has had a very good run, but I think its best days are behind it. I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong about that, but that's my general opinion on that. The other one here is Weird Science 14. A lot of these old sci-fi books have really been pretty hot in the last year. If it has a cool cover, if it's decent grade, it's really hard to find a lot of these in really good grade. I think a lot of them are also kind of larger comic book size. So, here's a 9.8 Gaines file copy. So obviously somebody that worked at the company was keeping a file cabinet and would take one of the issues from each of the production line and would just plop it in a file. And 9.8, 11 grand. Yeah, that's probably the only 9.8 in the world, mainly because it was a file copy. Somebody at the company grabbed it right off the press and put it in a file, and it's sat in a metal filing cabinet for years and years and years. So yeah, there's some pretty good stories about that on these, like a lot of these sci-fi and old horror books. I think EC, there was some file copy archives of a lot of EC books, and you know, it's pretty cool. I mean, can you imagine coming across an old file cabinet, and inside the file cabinet it had all these mint copies of, you know, 1940s and 50s and 60s comic books? Oh man, that would be the thing of dreams, wouldn't it? That'd be pretty cool. All right, guys, that's kind of what I had for the week. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and let me know what you think. Give me your opinion on this. What do you think of this top 10 list from CBSI this week? I wasn't too impressed with it. I mean, I can understand why some of those books made the list, but just kind of a nothing week. I don't know, it just wasn't real exciting. Maybe because I only had one book. I think that All New Ghost Rider was the only one I probably have in my collection. Everything else I don't have. So, you know, if you have any of that stuff in your collection, congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. All right, guys, I will have another video perhaps throughout the weekend, maybe just highlighting some comic news or anything that looks interesting. But definitely look for my video next Wednesday highlighting the books that are coming out for New Comic Book Day. All right, thanks.